Salutare, prieteni rugbyului! Suntem la ultima ediție din acest an a emisiunii Dropgol, o emisiune dedicată, așa cum bine știți și după cum bine ne vedeți, jocului de rugby. Eu sunt gazda noastră din această seară, Paul Athes. Suntem în aceste momente live atât pe profilul meu personal cât și pe pagina Cultură Sportivă. Iar alături de mine îi am pe colegul meu, Eduard Popiea. Edi, te salut!
Salutări!
Proaspăt laureat la premiile R15, o zic ca nu știu câtă oară ca să îți ridic moralul, și sigur pe selecționerul Stejarilor, David Gerard. We will switch to English, David. Thanks for joining us this evening.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you very much. 2025 has been a very interesting and somewhat adventurous year for the Oaks. David, in short terms, how would you describe this second year of your coaching the national team?
It's quite easy to describe. A very good February, March because of qualification, because our win in Portugal. A bit frustrated because we played the semi-final against Georgia again without 15 players. But since I arrived, this is a part of my biggest nightmare for a coach. That means sometimes not having the players. And my biggest nightmare is the summer, last summer, for only one reason. I went to South America without 25 players. And I just want to say to the people who are not France, who are not England, who are not South Africa, soon we have 25 players less. The level of our team collapsed completely, and it was the case. That forced me to make play the young kids who was not ready for this level. But yes, it was not a very good souvenir. And after last November, it was okay. It was average. It was not fabulous. It was not bad, but without any preparation, because we played these 3 games without camps, without any. We took 4 days for preparing Canada. It was not too bad.
A very, very good result, a win against Canada, who's I would say not at the level they used to be. You remember very well because in the 90s they made past the group stage in 1991 at the Rugby World Cup from 1991, and played against Romania also in 1995. Sadly for us, 2 defeats in the 90s. This year in the autumn series, Canada was outclassed, I would say, easily by us. It wasn't an easy match. I'm very much convinced of that, and you can agree or disagree with me, but I saw it as a very, very promising match for the future of our national team. Obviously, more than that, I was, and I'm not the only one who thinks that, very satisfied with the performances we had in the other 2 matches. Against the United States team, a very solid team, even though we lost, and against Uruguay. What are your thoughts about? Because, as I said in the previous episodes of our podcast, Uruguay seemed to be the best of the 3 teams we played in November. After the last 2 World Cups, when they defeated Fiji, you remember, I guess, the match in 2019 in Japan. I guess they won 30-27, and obviously the matches against France and Italy in 2023. So, how did you saw this Uruguayan team? How did you prepare in comparison with the other 2 teams, David?
It's a tough team to play just because one reason, it's a team. It's not a selection of players. Uruguay and Chile they are 40 weeks a year together. Me and the players, we was together during the year 15 weeks. Alors, between 15 weeks and 40 weeks is a big gap. And on the 15 weeks, we have to play 11 games. That means we just have 4 weeks to prepare ourselves every time. And it's too poor compared to a team like Uruguay. What I really appreciate is the mentality of our players. For everybody to remember, we passed the line 4 times. 4 try was not available for different reasons, but we put them a lot of under pressure, and they was very surprised about our quality and how we play rugby for this game. But it's tough for me, and it's very hard to accept like a national team coach. Most of the time, my players, when they arrive with me, they are unfit. They have injuries. They are tired because the calendar of the year. Uruguay arrive fresh, without 1 month without games, just a camp together, no injuries. And us, we try to push the players at their maximum, but we still have a little gap between them and us. But I think we did well. We did well, but when you lose, it's very hard to accept, you know.
You mentioned earlier about Portugal, a team that is very close to your heart. You were the forward coach for them during the 2023 Rugby World Cup with tremendous results. I remember gladly the match you had against Australia, a very, very physical match. And at one point I thought, okay, these guys might do it, but it didn't happen, sadly, for Portugal. But you played extremely well against 2 times Rugby World Cup winners. You had 2 matches this year in the 2025 Rugby Europe Championship. The first one was a loss in February.
Botoșani.
Yeah, Botoșani, 34-6.
Yeah.
And you took somewhat of a revenge, a very important match in the bronze final, 21-7. What were the changes you made for the second match after losing the first match, which was held at Botoșani?
It's quite simple. The strategy of Botoșani it was exactly the same to the strategy of the bronze medal. If the strategy is the same, is the players who normally are different, but it was the same team. The only difference, it was the mindset and the faith of the players. We play in Botoșani after the World Cup qualification done in Belgium, and all my team was very demotivated because the big objective was done. I tried to make them wake up for this game, but to be honest, I failed to find the words to make them be angry and be aggressive again. And it's not being a wizard of something like this, but when we played the second game in Portugal, when I spoke to them before the game, I just asked them, what does that mean for you to play for Romania? Are you proud to play for your country? And if you're proud, why you proud? Because in Botoșani, I think no one of you was proud to play for his country. You just forgot everything. You was like a kid in the middle of the pitch, in the middle of nowhere, who faced a team of Portugal who was so worried to play against us. And they played with the best team, with all the French, Marquez. They was all here. And as I say to the boys, now we go to face them again for the bronze medal. Which sort of image you want to bring back at home? And I said, a big rugby player build his career away from his home. That means when he feel alone, and you have to generate a fight. And I say, boys, we are away. We have to generate a fight. And the boys, they just switch on. Because this game, we won 21-7, but we have 2 or 3 more occasions to score. It can be a bigger score. But you see the difference of the mentality. That means the instability who make what we are at the moment. An average team, because we have the ability to win against strong side and to lose against poor side, just because at one moment we not put the same involvement.
I see.
That's right.
I see. Eddie, if you have any questions for David.
I have only one question. Mr. Gerard, what is your vision for the future of Romanian rugby, considering the current situation of the teams in the country, and how far do you believe this team can grow, as well as what changes would you like to see in this sport in Romania?
We have to be honest between each other. We know how hard it is to be a rugby player in Romania at the moment, for many reasons. Political reasons, money, numbers of players, our championship. I think our quality of thinking about rugby in Romania at the moment is quite poor. And most of the people think about just tomorrow. But the problem is not tomorrow, is the future. And I'm a guy who likes so much rugby. I have rugby in my blood. And after the draw of the World Cup, my only idea, my only vision was I have 2 years for create a team who will go in Australia. And I want this team to make proud one country, one full country. I want a team who go to bring stars in the eyes of the young Romanian players who want to play rugby one day for the Stejarilor. And this is my mission. I have 2 years for prepare this team. And I will have no mercy. I will have no mercy in terms of choices. I will take players who want to fight, who want to play at high level, who train a lot, and not just what they think is enough for the moment. No, I told you, January 2026, we will start the World Cup qualification. Because we are so late, we can't lose enough time.
Yes, that's right.
So given the current situation, I guess your biggest disappointment this year was the heavy loss we had against Georgia, even though the level, I think, at this moment favors them. What do you think about their current rugby organization compared to all the other teams that played in Rugby Europe Championship? Are they already, I wouldn't say at the same level with the Six Nations, but I saw them winning against Wales in Cardiff, which was tremendously impressive. How would you rate them as a national team? Because we will play again against them in 2027 at the Men's Rugby World Cup, and we will move immediately to this subject of the draw.
It's quite simple. Georgia is 110 players who play in top 14 and in Pro D2 at the moment. 110. Georgia is about 13 or 14 times our budget. Why? Because the government gives to them more to 20 million euros every year, plus private partners and everything. They have no problem. Because they have a lot of players. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of, when you have money, you can have projects. They have a lot of facilities. They have, I don't know how many camps stationed in a country. I think it's crazy. I think they have 10 or 12 different places with facilities to train. Us, like a national team, we don't have gym. We don't have training pitch. We struggle on everything. We have much less money, much less players. This is a big difference between them and us. Romania, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, was in front Georgia for all these sort of things, because most of the players from the national team was in top 14 in France. At one point, I think people in the past did a mistake to stop to work, because I understood that French, sometimes we are lazy, but Romanian, sometimes we are lazy too. And I think if you not keep working, people chase you, and at one point, they're getting better to you. And you saw how many Romanian players left France and giving the chance to the Georgian to come. And now we have an army of Georgian in France. That means their federation not spending any money for 110 players. Is massive, massive. Me, I try to, I want to do a squad for the World Cup and to start to think about, boys, I can't put more to 50 names on a paper. 50. It's, you imagine? If I start to have injuries, it's, and at some position, I'm so weak. And people, I think sometimes not open their eyes, you know. I know in Kleva Ovasa, we speak about him. I make him play number 10. I know he's not a number 10, but who you want me at the moment to play number 10? Daniel Play, I like him, but he injury. Yuski Kojo from Rapid, too young for this level. I tried him in last summer. It was very difficult. Who you want to play number 10? Most of the number 10, they are foreigners, or they are out of the process for many reasons. And this is our biggest problem with Georgia. At the moment, Georgia is one planet in front of us, and we need to accept that. Soon we accept the thing, we start to build a project to fight, because we have to chase them. And we know, with less money, with less players, we know. But at one point, it's not an excuse. We have to fight. It's the only thing I want to do is fight. And at the moment, it's difficult to fight if people not pushing in the same way, you know. But
yes, that's right.
Playing a team like Georgia got to be fucking tough. If we're not moving our ass, if we wait, it got to be like a last World Cup. You can have the staff of the Springboks. You can have Erasmus in Romania. That will change nothing. Without players, without facilities, without help of people, and without faith, you change nothing. But now, we know what's going to be our future. We have to prepare this fight, because it's going to be a fight for 3 games. We have to prepare this moment. Prepare the moment, or we will be face Georgia with the best players, then with everything, you know. But yeah, Georgia is a massive team to play. For me, they are close to the Six Nations.
As I said, they defeated Wales in Cardiff at the Principality Stadium. It was a shock for everyone involved in rugby, from media to experts. Nobody saw that coming.
And
almost
one more thing. Sorry, one more thing about Georgia. On the top of the 110 players in France, they have 50 professional, full professional with a federation who play for Black Lion.
Yes.
Do you imagine? That means they have a squad of 160 players.
Yes, but they invest a lot of money in this sport, and they build stadiums and teams. And we, unfortunately, our team started to disappear from Romania, like Faru Constanța, one of the greatest teams that was in Romania.
The only team that played in the Champions Cup, the only team in the first.
I know.
95-96. It's.
I don't know how many teams disappeared in Romania at one point. Secheme, Farouk. But why? Because they have no kids. Nobody have a junior team. Nobody have a second team. Nobody have a reserve of players. Nobody have a school of rugby. That means you have a school of
and
rugby.
I think Georgia has a well-developed partnership, if I'm not mistaken, with the South African Federation. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They have partnership with everyone. They are in partnership with everyone, mate.
In Romania, the biggest problem is that the coaches from rugby teams, they stop trying to search for kids in the schools and start to train them. They are not, when I was a kid and when I played rugby, coaches come in our school and start to pick boys to play at Faro Constanța. But now nobody is searching for players. They are just waiting for them to come, like a miracle.
Yeah, but it's not like this. Huh? We have to go to school, to fight in school, to recover the faith, to find young kids, because at the moment we wait. We wait for what?
For a miracle, unfortunately.
Before moving to the next subject, we have a very interesting question from Gabriel Horvath. A question for you, David. What's your opinion regarding the obvious lack of determination of our guys on the pitch? This question is not to offend any player, but there is something behind which obviously is not accessible to us, the fans. So if you kind of want to resolve this enigmatic question.
I think because at the moment we are in the body of the little country, of the little team. We are a little team at the moment. And in our head, we are a little team. That means we collapse so easily just because in our head it's normal. Because we have so much problems and players, we always find an issue and say, oh, we are Romanian. They told me that every time. They make me crazy. Sorry, coach, we are Romanian. Sorry, I'm pissed off when they say that, And for some of the boys, for me, is one of the reasons. For some of the boys, they give their maximum because sometimes when you have Uruguay and you play Villaseca, who played in top 14, you can have a very courageous guy in front of him, but to fight with a guy who played in top 14, you need to play well. And the fact at one point, it can be better to you. And we think sometimes it's a lack of involvement, but sometimes they are just better to us. And our instability, I talk about that, come from all these sort of things where we are very negative all the time. Negativity everywhere. We win, it's negative. When we win, we have too much eligible. Belgium not playing well. Portugal not playing well. Nobody say we play well. We did a great job. Nobody. We lose, start again. We have to change the coach. We have to change the players. It's a problem of many, many different problems. At one point, we need to accept the situation, but we need to push everybody in the same way. If a player not give his maximum, I drop him from the national team. I did before. I will drop him. That's why fans don't have to be worried about this. But after, they need to understand it's fucking hard to play against Rapid, Cluj, Baia Mare, Timișoara, and 1 week after, you face Uruguay. At one moment, we can be surprised sometimes of the result. There is a planet of difference.
Totally different kettle of fish, if you ask me.
Yes. And most of the time, like I said, the players arrive with us completely fucked. Completely fucked. Most of them have injuries, and they come with us because they want to play for Romania. I have Jason Tomane, who is an eligible player. Mate, he played 3 games with 2 knees completely fucked. But he said to me, coach, I will give my maximum, but I will have a surgery after the games. I promise you, he was full of pain every week. But because we was in trouble for centers, because injuries, because absent, Jason, he just say nothing. He just did his maximum. When he arrived on the pitch, he given his maximum. He was one of the best players with 2 knees completely fucked. And 1 week after, Jason Tomane was at hospital, double surgery on both knees. And
nobody talks about these things.
But nobody, because nobody want to speak about this. People will always find fancy thing. Yes, we play with eligible at the moment, and we will have more eligible. I know. I not wake up in the morning and say I just want to erase the Romanian. It's not what I want. I want players who play with the jersey and fight for this jersey. At the moment, Nicolas Himmelman, the captain of Bayamare, I think you know him.
Of course.
Yes.
Nicolas Zimmerman, it's an example. When I say example, it's an example. He fights like hell. He fight for him.
He's a very hard-working man.
Yeah.
We see it, and we saw it even at club level, even at the national team level. And from my perspective, we are extremely lucky to have him as a player.
And you think I will shoot him because he's not born Romanian? No. His kids are born in Romania.
For us, it's a Romanian. It's not a foreigner for us.
Yes, but at one point, we need to switch about this. At the moment, we have no choice. At the period, we have no choice. And we know that. We know. I can't create players in a factory. Like you see, we have, for the under 18, it's fucking difficult. Under 20 is a nightmare to have a team. Imagine for the national team. Alors, people say, David, you have to take him. You have to take him. You have to take him. Yeah, but I want to take my grandmother, but she can't play rugby anymore.
Yes, of course.
I want to play, put on a pitch player who has the level to play, not to just,
Just to show up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes, that's one of the biggest problems in Romania. We need to let players that they actually play rugby, not only show up.
Yeah.
I would like to move to the next subject, as it is seen on the screen, the draws for the Nations Cup, the first and inaugural Nations Cup for next year, and obviously the more important one for the 2027 Men's Rugby World Cup, because from 2027 onwards, it will be added as Men's Rugby World Cup, not just Rugby World Cup as it was known until now. First and foremost, in mid-November, we were drawn in Group A alongside Georgia, Spain, Portugal, Hong Kong, and Zimbabwe. All of those teams are qualified, obviously, also at the Rugby World Cup, with tremendous results, especially for Georgia and Portugal, I would say, and Zimbabwe for the African level of rugby. David, first and foremost, how would you commentate on this Nations Cup draw?
To be honest, this Nations Cup is nothing more to something new with things who are fucking old. Because next summer we will face Chile, Uruguay, Samoa, like last summer nearly. Next November, Canada, USA, Tonga. We play all the time the same teams, all the time. You imagine we go to play against USA, Canada, and Tonga, and we go to play against Chile, Uruguay. It's all the time the same. They did a pool, but they make you play against the opposite. And now one moment, except saying to the teams, we create a new championship, a Nation Cup, and you play the same team. Where is the motivation? Where is the new things, except the name? You know.
Do you think? I have a very brief question, a very short follow-up. Do you think this competition for the Tier 1 teams is a bit biased to play only against the other elite teams, not to face Tier 2 or Tier 3 teams?
For me, they create the Nations Cup for the Tier 1 teams and not for the Tier 2. Because Tier 2, we go to face each other all the time, and the Tier 1 will face each other all the time. And because at the moment, some of the Tier 1 World Rugby, they push them to play one Tier 2 in a winter or in a summer. And they complain about playing Tier 2 teams, you understand, for the people in a stadium, for the money, for everything. Now, they all will be together. That means I will change just for the Tier 1 team. Tier 2 teams, I will change nothing, if we're honest. Summer tour, 3 games. Nations Cup during summer, 3 games. November tour, 3 games. Nations Cup for winter, 3 games. Change nothing.
I see. I see. So you are not so happy about this new competition.
No, it's not. I'm not against, but for me, it's nothing. That change absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. We have 3 games. We have 6 games by year for playing a Nations Cup, but at the moment we have these 3 games. It's why.
I see. So Group B for Romania at the 2027 Men's Rugby World Cup. We will face obviously South Africa, Georgia, and Italy. Very challenging games ahead in Australia for us. I guess you as a Frenchman are not that happy for the overall draw because you might face either New Zealand, Australia, or South Africa in the semi-final. But we will discuss more on that matter on the international side of the draw later on. I would focus now for your thoughts about our group and what does these 3 matches mean for the national team, for the Oaks, and for the small but very heartful rugby community from our nation, Romania.
The first thing is the draw for the French was not my priority at all. To be honest, I was just focused on us. Just focus on us. For me, France playing Japan, New Zealand, Australia, or whatever, it was not my problem. My problem was us, our history for us. Of course, we have maybe the strongest pool. Why? Because Italy at the moment in Six Nations is quite dominant. Georgia is close to the Six Nations. That means we have two of the best European side, plus the world champion. But if we are not happy to have this, we have to stop to play rugby. It's a chance. It's a massive chance. I'm not speaking about the result. I'm speaking about playing games against this sort of teams. When you start to play rugby, it's for competing and it's for having emotion. Playing team like this is just full of emotion. And instead, if you have to work harder, because we'll have to work a lot, of course, it's going to be massively difficult. But I'm not complaining about my pool. I'm not complaining. I just want to be in Australia in 2 years. I just want to be ready to be on the pitch. After is rugby. Rugby is rugby. It's sport. But I want to do all the sacrifice personally on next 2 years to build this team. Because I will give all my energy, all my faith, everything to them. Everything. It's why I'm here. It's why I refuse to go back in France and to sign on the French clubs. Just because the players playing for Romania, it's important for me because no one believes at the moment. Everybody say to me, David, it's impossible. Qualification was impossible. We are qualified. People say, David, it's going to be impossible to compete in a World Cup. I promise you, we'll compete. I will do everything. If I have to sleep 3 hours a night, I will do it. But we will compete.
You yourself you have already some tremendous experience against Georgia. You were, as I said earlier, the forward coach for Portugal at the last Rugby World Cup. And you had that tremendous match that you nearly won. You were very, very close
Yes.
to win the match. It was, I think, the only draw at the Rugby World Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
Think so.
18-all.
I think so. Yes, I think so.
I think it was the only draw because there were other matches, including the final and most of the South African matches in the knockout phase. They narrowly won by only 1 point each match. The quarterfinals against France, the semi-final against England, and also the final against New Zealand. Only 1 point advantage for the Springboks. But the only draw, as far as I can remember, if anyone can argue against me, it was Georgia against Portugal, 18 points to all. 3 draws, 2 losses. 3 draws, 2 losses. 3 points. 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 3 po very, very satisfying rugby. At this level, I have a very, very specific question. At this level, let's say you play against South Africa. How would you prepare a match against South Africa? What are the most important matters when you start to prepare such an important game?
You have to prepare the game, every game, for winning. It's the only solution. If you want to exist and if you want to compete, you need to put in your head, we have to prepare every game to win, for winning. Why? Because if you play a game just for existing or just for being here, it will be a nightmare. Because the reality will take the lead of the game and it will be too much. And of course, I'm not crazy when I say that. But I will prepare this game like every game. I will try to beat them. I will try to break their line. I will try to score. I will try to find a solution against their set piece, against their blitz defense. I will prepare the game like every games, except the fact, in terms of physical domination, is the only team in the world who have this effect in front of everybody. It's why we'll have to give not 100% of our body this day. It will be 200%, because 100%, 150% don't go to be enough. I need to find the keys to make a Romanian team play at 200% of his capacity. And I'm not speaking about winning. I'm not speaking about the result. It's not winning. It's about the result. I'm speaking about what they go to put on a pitch. Okay, I want them to fight.
It's important not to give up and for the players to stay dedicated and give everything they can on the field. That's most important, I think.
It's why I don't want any liar in this team. The 33 Romanian who go to Australia, it will be 33 guys who go to be honest. I want full of honesty. When they say we give everything, we give everything. It's is mandatory. It's not negotiable.
Yes, they need to play with the heart for the beginning.
And if people start to think about, oh, David, you have to focus Georgia, you have to focus Italy, you know what? Piss off. It's a fucking World Cup. We go to play every games with our best team. Our best team. True. If I have to put 3 times a row the same 15 players, because they are the best one, I will put the 15 players. Because,
yes, of course.
Because we are not here to think about, you have to change, we have to be careful. Be careful of what? You think by putting your B team against South Africa that we help everyone?
No, not at all. No. Not at all.
No.
I remember the last Rugby World Cup, as you said earlier, about putting the A team. Ireland played against us with Johnny Sexton and all the likes, which went up to the quarterfinals with mostly the same team, unchanged. And they played tremendously well in the second half against us. I have another question regarding this match.
Yes.
You have most of the guys who played in 2023, and they were heavily criticized by fans and sadly also by the press, who usually doesn't cover rugby that much as we would love to. Have you seen any kind of difference in attitude from 2024 when you started and towards nowadays at the end of your second year as our coach?
I think if everybody opens their eyes, they will see something, and they have to see something. When I arrived, nearly 90% of the national team wanted to stop to play for Stejarilor for many reasons. And when I say 90, is 90. Yeah? They are all of them come back. And it's not the year of the World Cup. It's since I arrived, I fought with them to be back. Mau wanted to stop. he's back. Gajion wanted to stop, he's back. Attila Septar, everybody said, oh, Attila Septar, he doesn't care about national team. He's back. Gontineak is back. Onutu is back. That means we have players who have another chance. It's what I said to them. The life gives to you another chance. Some of the people don't have second chance. You have this second chance. Or you take it, or you leave it, but you will have regrets all your life. And I said to them, all of you have kids, you have wife, you have family. Which example you want to be for your family? Which example you want to be for your kids? You want to go to see your kids and say, your dad is it's a fighter. You see how he's proud to be Romanian, how he fight. And this is what you have to do. And if you're not taking this second chance, what you go to say to your kids? Kids, when you go to be difficult in the life, don't go. Don't fight. When it's difficult, it's difficult. No, when it's difficult, you face the difficulty, you find the way to face this difficulty, and you fight. And I think everyone in this group understood that. Of course, we are not ready. Of course, sometimes we play shit game. Of course, sometimes we collapse because it's the instability of everything. But I think everybody understood what chance we have next 2027. Life gives to them another chance. And this is incredible.
It's an important chance because you are seen, especially when you are playing the likes of South Africa by, I would say, hundreds of millions of people worldwide because of the following South Africa has, which such a tremendous history. But we will come back later a bit to the Rugby World Cup draw. I would love to continue with the club project called the Romanian Wolves, which played again this season in the Rugby Europe Super Cup. Unfortunately, with not such good results as one may hope to see. Romanian Wolves so far played 4 games, lost all of them. Lost against Delta from the Netherlands, lost against Bohemia Rugby Warriors, lost against a very strong Castilla y León Iberians, which had, I think, 12 or 13 starters of the Spanish national side. And obviously, yesterday, sadly, we played and lost against Lusitanos. We have only one match left in Brussels next Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. One match left, 4 gone. David, you were involved last year. Now, this year, I think your involvement is a little bit less.
I'm not involved at all.
Not at all?
No.
Not at all? I think Stelian Burcea is the head coach at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
He's Rapid.
It's Rapid,
Yes,
yeah.
it's Rapid.
Mainly on the Rapid side players, yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Most of the players are from Rapid. Like 80% of them are from Rapid.
Much more. Yes.
Much
more. Yesterday he was only Fonovai who came to help because missed players, and that's it. He's Rapid.
Yes, but we need to understand that this team is young and inexperienced in international matches, but it has the potential to develop and show us a lot more in the matches in the coming years.
My question was, David, how would you rate the performances? Because as well as the national side, those performances were heavily criticized, not only by the fans, but also in the Romanian press. I saw some articles written by well-known and established newspapers, online newspapers, that were blatantly against what is happening with the Romanian Wolves. And I would love to see your honest and candid reaction towards what is happening with the Wolves at the moment.
But last year with the Wolves, he was a national team staff and he was our selection of players. We won our pool. We won in the final in Netherlands against Delta by 40 or 50 points. And we prepared November test by this way. That means I used the Romanian Wolves to prepare the November test. Because the government issue at the moment and the money issue, it was impossible for the federation to bring all the players together, the staff of the national team together. It was impossible financially. The only chance for Romania to have a team with the Romanian Wolves was to give Romanian Wolves to one club. The only club who was in capacity financially to take this team, it was Rapid. But Rapid is a very development team. We have no international inside this team, and the kids are not prepared for this level. It's difficult for them. Changing the jersey.
The new international is Alex Savin from Rapid.
Yeah, it's Alex, but Alex alone.
But it's only one. He cannot do very much alone.
And he was not here last week. The last game, he was not here.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's why. Of course, people can speak badly about the result, and they are right about the result, but they have to see which team we put. And I'm not denigrate the players who played for Romanian Wolves, but it's kids who are not winning so much in championship except against Cluj, who struggle to in our Liga, and after we put them in European Cup without any preparation. I want them to compete. That means except by being magician, the staff of Rapid can't do miracle. They do the maximum with what they have at the moment. And what they have, it's a team who is not ready to play at this level. In front of us, it's not the same problem. Bohemian is a Czech national team. Delta is all the Holland players from the country except the French, means the good side. Portuguese is a lot of under 20 who was champion, plus guys who are around a bit the national team. Spanish is nearly 30 international and professional. What you want them to do? Except their maximum. They do the maximum.
They did everything they could in this tournament.
Especially against the likes of Castilla y León, which are
it's 30 international. It's like me if I have 30 international players full time with me and we face a young team. I think it's the same result, It was. I can't say it's a bad decision because it was the only chance to have a team in this competition for this year. I think we have to think about why for last 6 months our government not giving any money to the sport and especially to the rugby. And because they're not helping us in our development, to not having money for doing camps, preparation, to have international players.
Yes, which is pretty sad because we won the first Olympic medal at rugby in 1924, the bronze medal. Of course, we were third out of 3 teams, but it was a bronze medal after all. It doesn't matter how many teams there were. It was a moment of history for Romanian sports. So,
of course.
It doesn't matter how many teams they were, obviously. It was a medal. A medal is still a medal. Nobody cares. Only statisticians care about those kind of records.
Yeah.
My question was for you. You said about Rapid that is more of a developmental team, and in the media, not only people are talking about the performances of the under 20 and under 18 and the junior national sides, which are losing more frequently than in the past against teams like the Netherlands, Poland, the Czech Republic. What can you tell us more about this problematic matter? Because In the past, we used to defeat them by 60 to 70 to 80 points difference, and nowadays it's the situation is like 180 degrees against us. We are losing now. We are in their situation from the past. Now we are losing ourselves by massive margins at the junior levels. So what are your thoughts about this, David?
But it's quite simple. How many under 20 teams we have in a country at the moment?
I don't know, to be fair.
6. What you want to do? The problem is we have a lack of numbers of players now. We have a championship for kids who is very weak. They all the time play the same teams. They know each other.
They play always with the same team. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Gerard.
Yeah, no.
My children is playing rugby at Sporting.
Yes.
Sporting, and every week they play with the same team. Shoimi, Rugby Academy, Steaua.
Always.
The same team, always. It's exactly like the Romanian Superliga. It's the same thing.
You can tell at one point, you can tell what kind of deodorant the opponent uses, which is quite sad.
No, but we have to come back in the base where we have to grow up the numbers of kids, but we have to have more vision in terms of rugby. One thing for me in the country is not normal. Why Dynamo don't have any school of rugby? Why Steaua don't have enough kids in school of rugby? Why Rapid don't have kids? Why we speak about Sporting? Imagine you have Sporting, Rugby Academies, 2 schools of rugby who are very nice with the kids. But why is they alone? Why is they not with Rapid or with I don't know, with Dynamo? Why is it not create the link with the clubs, professional clubs? I went to Bayamare. Bayamare, they are alone. The club of Bayamare Rugby, it's the main team. They just have this. And there are no kids, no junior, nothing.
I played for Bayamare when I was young one at under 80, and they didn't have children there. They take people from other teams from Romania in the last year, and they create one team there. That's the system there.
It's like
but it's not normal.
Group in music. You pick up the best from other parts, and
they are not normal. Our under 20 went to the championship without any preparation, boys. You want
yes, I know.
But it's the same for the national team. Under 20 is the same. Under 18, you think we have the quality at the moment in the country to have no preparation, to just bring a team and play? It's impossible. You play Belgium, they are all French. They play on a French championship. The under 18, under 20.
And they are already accustomed to top 14, Pro D2, and all the French.
Under 20 from Spain, from Portugal, they are all in France. Half of them are in France. Holland, half of them are in France and in England and in South Africa. And it's a factor. We think we have enough quality to not prepare the boys and to just arrive like this. No. The answer is no.
Should the first division teams be forced, metaphorically speaking, to have a under 20 and under 18 team?
If it's my choice, of course. If it's my choice, less foreigners. You need to have a junior team minimum for the first year. A junior team. For the second year, you need a junior but lowest age grade. For the year after, of course, we have to think about our Liga is not Super Rugby, is not top 14. At the moment, it's 6 teams who play against each other. I know there is a championship, there is a cup, but it's not enough for the performance. It's not enough. You saw we have a lot of under 20 who play in Liga. You know, a few of them, not a lot, a few of them play in Liga. But you saw them against kids who have their age. There is a big difference, but not. Not? And,
Yes,
and
that's
they
true.
play in senior. Huh? They play at the highest level of the country.
And I see another problem in the second division, which does not guarantee automatically the winner to promote in the first division. That's, for me, it's a complete nonsense. Gura humorului is not.
Yeah, it's about the money there. No, it's about the money there. They cannot promote because they don't have money to survive in the first division.
I can see that matter, Eddie, but it's yeah. If you want to develop something great, I don't know. You should be obliged to promote and relegate for the health of rugby. I don't know if you agree with us, David, but if you play again and again the same teams, you are already accustomed to what kind of deodorant your opponents are using, which is not okay for the health of rugby.
But maybe you have to be the solution in the future. After clubs need to have money to compete, because if Gura or Mororui go up without any reinforcement, it's going to be a tough year for them. There is a massive difference between second division and Liga, and I don't know what's the difference, but it's quite massive. And you can't. You have to think about the security of the players too, because there is a big gap. It's like amateur playing against half professional or professional. There is a big gap in terms of physicality. But yeah, it can be a solution. After, this is not my too much my concern about this. My concern is more the level of our, in general, of our championship. You know, will make me worry.
Which is quite low, to be fair, because we, as mentioned, we only have 6 teams. Usually Baia Mare and Timișoara and Dinamo or Steaua are the four forces, and you have Rapid and Cluj, which are not so good. This year Cluj, I don't think they even won a match, which is quite dramatic. You don't see in a medium valued championship such a negative record. I don't think you see this kind of record, kind of negative record in the French divisions. They would raise some eyebrows if this happens. I don't know. I don't want to criticize anyone from Cluj, because it's a team that is very close to my heart. But is it normal for a team to not win any kind of matches, David?
They do what they can with what they have. Mate, if I give you 100 euros to fight against somebody who have 1 million, I think it will be difficult for you, with your heart or not. And I know it's not the reality, but they do what they can with what they have. Most of them, all of them are non-professional. Most of them are students. It's kids, and they have not too much foreigners to reinforce the level. At one point, they do what they can. They struggle to have a pitch. They struggle to have coaches. They struggle to have everything. They do their maximum, and sometimes people think the people in front don't want, but sometimes they can't. They are at their maximum at the moment, you know.
Yeah. So, and they are more or less paid by the public sector, not the private one. There are very few, if any, teams in the Liga which are privately funded. I don't think any of the 6 teams are full privately funded.
Yes, Paul, but it's a wonder that they survive until now. It's not.
Yes, absolutely. No, nothing against what you said, but that's completely abnormal to not have to not integrate the private sector at all.
Yeah, but we need to interest them. At the moment, they are not so much interested by us. It's a problem.
The interest, we have a very competitive national team to a certain degree. 10 out of 11 World Cups qualifications. We only missed 2019 by the well-known facts of what happened, but I don't know if in the last 35 years since the fall of communism we had 3 or 4 people at all involved from the private sector. That's very, very bad. I guess that's not the case in many of the top championships, which are fully funded. We see, for instance, I don't want to make any promotional or marketing matters here, but we saw Red Bull now joining forces with Newcastle, for example, and so on. Of course, we cannot go that far, but we can use marketing people, I think, for this.
Who you think can be interested by a team who have no stadium, no gym?
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
The people think nobody think about all of this. We all think about all of this, but we have a team where when we want to train in Arc de Triomphe, they refuse us. We are a team like this. When we want to go to the gym, because we have no gym, we have to go to a commercial gym, and we are in the middle of the people with our players, and it's our life. It's our life, and it's not because we want. Nobody wants. Nobody wants. But because at the moment it's like this. When I arrived, I visited the stadium, and everybody said, "Oh, it's a stadium of rugby." No, it's not the stadium of rugby.
It's not anymore.
Of the government, they put some fucking. Sorry, I speak badly, but fucking football game here. When a national team want to come to train here, they refuse. That means when with national team, and you need to know that. We play on a pitch. We never train on, and they put us in the same situation to our opponents.
Yeah.
That means Canada, they have 40 minutes to train before the game. Us, it was the same.
For me, it's a sacrilege. It's like going to England and asking them to play football at Twickenham, which is obviously the most well-known rugby stadium in Europe, not in the world.
Yeah, I know, but everything is like this, mate. Everything is like this. Everything is about the political side who not helping us, or government, about choices, about priority, about we try our best,
Yes, but for the government, rugby it's not a priority right now.
Yeah, it's not a priority.
I think sports, in all fairness, all sport is not a priority.
But I said to a minister, because across a minister last time, because he was with French people, he was in the middle of them speaking French, and one of my not friend, but one of my French mates, he said, "Oh, it's one of the minister." I came to speak to him. And then he introduced myself, and I say to him, "Sir, do you know how many national team do you have in a country who go to play a World Cup? How many do you have?" And he looked at me and said, "Oh, I don't think we have so much." "No, you don't have so much, no. But us, we go to play a World Cup. And at the moment, we not received any money from you for last 6 months fees. At the moment, soon we find money. We have to put for just paying the people who work for the federation. That's it. And we try to give money for bringing the kids to the championship in under 20. That's it. Is our life at the moment.
It's a very, very difficult situation.
Of course. Why I don't like when the people shout everywhere.
You cannot grow anything of any purpose or of any meaning.
But I think people not. Sometimes they hide the things, like about the Romanian Wolves. How they can complain about kids. Some of them, they do Uber outside of rugby for living, for having a life. And this kid, 1 week after, he played an European Cup game, and we complain about his level. They're not making sense. People need to understand that. When you have this score against you because you're full professional, of course you have to be judged. People have to say, "Oh, he's shit," or they can do. But when it's an amateur who play against a professional, there is nonsense for me, you know.
I do think you remember when the two divisions were merged at some point. It was a heavily criticized decision.
Yes.
I don't know if you were already the coach of our national team or it was before you came to Romania, but it was a heavily criticized decision. You had huge differences of scores, which were quite predictable. Because you cannot play, I don't know, Galați against Baia Mare.
But what you want to say against them? When you one of them can be a butcher and he play against Nicolas Simmelman, and what you want him to do? Nothing. The reality is like this. It's not a surprise. What's happened here? It's not a surprise for the
At least you can tell your grandkids in the future that you played against an oak, but I don't know if that matters that much.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't know if that matters that much. David, I think you saw the season overall. Baia Mare so far the champions, and they are again in the final of the Romanian Cup. Which will be held on December 20th on the Arco de Triunf Stadium. They will face, I don't know if it's a surprise or not, against Timișoara, which was the final of the championship as well. They already marked history with their, I think, 16th consecutive final. Eddie, if you can correct me or.
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure about this.
They are already way past 10 consecutive finals. David,
something like that.
Who do you think will prevail in the final? And what are your thoughts about the overall performances of the club teams in the national championship and throughout the Romanian Cup?
It's very complicated for me, this question. Very complicated for me because since I arrived, I tried to create a link with clubs and try to do things with them because the players are in the middle of all of this. But to be honest, I don't have so much help from clubs. Most of the time, I have Romanian clubs who refuse to send the players. It was the case last summer. To have an example, nobody talked too much about this, but 25 players less. Most of them was the Romanian players and not the French. It's why it's very difficult for me because sometimes some of them make players in a cup or in championship, and these guys can't come with the national team because they have an injury. They have an injury for the national team, but not for playing in club. It's why it's very tough. I don't want to be negative or things like this. Baia Mare is in final again. Congratulate them. I'm happy for the players. It was a tough year for them. That's why maybe they rebuild the group inside. They are very close to each other, because it was a tough year for them. And after the semi-final, Dinamo Timișoara was a big surprise because the weather was terrible, and Dinamo tried to play too much, to be honest, with this sort of weather. The kicking game of Timișoara was very good during this game, and they won the spot. For me, the result would depend a lot of the weather, because on a weather very wet, I think Baia Mare have more quality. They are more heavy. They play more with the forwards, especially, but. Timișoara have a good quality, and I think all the team in our championship, we can speak about Baia Mare, Dinamo, Timișoara, Steaua. They are unstable. They can win and lose against everyone when they face each other. Right. And because they are like us, they are unstable like us. And this game is hard to think about who can win. It depends on which level Timișoara and Baia Mare go to play this game.
I see. So you offered us a very diplomatic answer. You don't want to pick us.
No, I can't. I can't.
I
have players both sides. I have players both sides. I want
of
all
course,
of them.
I can understand that.
That's why I'm not with or no.
The best team will win.
The best team will win. Yeah.
This is diplomatic.
Yeah. The other semi-final was very interesting. A very interesting match because you said about Steaua. For me personally, it was the match of the year. The win they had in the last minutes in the second half of overtime, I think. Yeah. 21-19. Sorry, the win of Baia Mare last week at Arena Zimbilor against Steaua was amazing. An amazing match for our level. Of course, you cannot compare to I don't know, European competitions, top European competitions,
No.
but it's a very good match for the Romanian level, the Romanian first division level. So no picks. Very diplomatic answer. I would love to move to the next question, which regards more or less the international matches of the other teams and the rest of the 2027 Men's Rugby World Cup, because you are a very good analyst. And we had at the end of November, I think one of the most dominant displays of South Africa, which was a tremendous win, 73-0 against Wales at the Millennium Stadium. I think that is the biggest defeat ever, if I'm not mistaken, of Wales. Very, very solid rugby played by the world champions, the back-to-back world champions. David, again, you will say, yeah, I'm interested mainly in Romania. But besides Romania, which matches did you manage to watch throughout this Autumn Nation series, and which were the teams that you liked to see and to analyze a bit for us?
South Africa, New Zealand. Every game's from South Africa, every game's from New Zealand. I like to watch England at the moment too, and Ireland. Of course, a lot of tier 1 teams. But the result of South Africa last November are impressive. Not just because it's a result, because all the South Hemisphere team, normally when they arrive in November, they are fucked. They are very tired because it was a long year for them, and they arrived and they are not tired at all. And I heard about a statistic which is quite interesting. Krill, the center. Krill have the same age to Gaël Ficou, the French center. In their life, Krill played nearly 220 games. Gaël Ficou, 320. That means the South African, now they have the capacity to not playing too much games and to save at the maximum the players by sending them in Japan. There is not too much games. And when they are with a franchise in South Africa, they're not playing so much. Like you see today in a European Cup, no much of them was on the pitch. That's why they arrived very fresh for November and they destroy everyone.
It was the same in 2023 at the Rugby World Cup. They started very slowly. Both South Africa and New Zealand, if you remember, and you remember it very well, lost against France. I think you were a very happy man when France defeated New Zealand in 2023. And also South Africa lost against Ireland, which was one of the best matches, if you ask me, at the Rugby World Cup. Personally, it was not a big surprise because, as you said, Ireland are playing a very good and qualitative rugby. But I would love to ask your opinion about the other groups of the 2027 Men's Rugby World Cup, because after this draw, we have quite some interesting matches. In the first pool A, we have New Zealand against the hosts, for example, against Australia, which from my perspective are not the same team as they were 10 or 15 years ago when they played against each other in the Rugby World Cup final in 2015. I think it will be the opening match, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know yet. It will be a very, very interesting match. Pool A, I will read very, very fast the pools. Pool A is New Zealand, Australia, Chile, and Hong Kong, China. Our pool, which is Pool B, is comprised by South Africa, Italy, Georgia, and obviously Romania. Pool C, Argentina, Fiji, Spain, and Canada. Pool D, which for me is the toughest pool besides ours. Ireland, Scotland, Uruguay, and Portugal. Pool E, which is for me the most obvious winner of the group, if you ask me. France, Japan, United States, and Samoa. And the last one, but not the least, England, Wales, Tonga, and Zimbabwe. Very briefly, if you want, David, besides our group, which we discussed it already, what are your thoughts about the other 5 groups? Because as we all know, in 2027 we will have 24 teams, not 20 as we were accustomed from the 1999 Rugby World Cup till the last one. So 4 more teams. The level hasn't gone down as some suggested. It is 24 of the best 25 teams in the Rugby World Ranking. So how would you briefly analyze the groups that I just read earlier?
First thing for me is very political, because if you take the level of Hong Kong, Zimbabwe compared to Belgium, for me there is no picture. Belgium deserve much more to be here. In terms of level, I think. But in terms of politics, they want teams everywhere around the world. But after, in terms of pool, Ireland, Scotland, Uruguay, and Portugal is quite tough pool. Of course, having Australia and New Zealand, it's that make having a big pool. What will be interesting to see is New Zealand and Australia, what they go to do when they go to face each other. Because the main thing, everybody know they will be qualified or nearly qualified both. If they play against each other, I don't know if they go to put 100% of their energy and 100% of their players straight away, because they will focus maybe more the 2 other one to be qualified surely. It's why I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what going to be the strategic choice of the tier 1 teams. For France too, because their pool is not so tough, but what they go to do, which games they go to choose to put their biggest team, you know. It's going to be interesting. You know, the tier 1 team and tier 2 teams is not the same strategy and vision.
Yeah, the
that's
draw
right.
overall is not so fantastic for France. You are on the same side of the draw with South Africa or either New Zealand or Australia, because if South Africa wins their pool, if you win your pool, which is I think the most obvious one, to be fair, it's the easiest one for a tier 1 team. And obviously, if either Australia or New Zealand, which is the most likely scenario in Pool A, you will be in the same side of the draw. So we will not have, for instance, South Africa or New Zealand against France in the final.
I know it's quite bizarre to have all the South Hemisphere who go to face each other very quickly, you know. But it's still a draw, you know. It's sometimes it's like this, but sometimes you are chance or not. And I don't think there is something bad behind that, because a lot of people from South Hemisphere think, oh, they did that, the English want us to play against each other very quickly. You see England, they have no one in front of them until the semi-final. And, you know, for me, it's a draw. A draw, it's a draw, you know.
So I guess you're looking forward to see France as much as possible, advance as much as possible in the competition.
We try to focus on us.
besides Romania, of course, besides Romania, yeah. I would love to end our discussion with the last subject of the day, the perspectives of the Oaks for 2026, because in less than 2 months, and I think in 2 months' time from now, on February the 8th, so 2 months from tomorrow, Romania will start their 2026 Rugby Europe Championship campaign against Germany. We are drawn here. We were drawn here in Pool B this time against Belgium, Germany, and Portugal. The first match, as I said earlier, it's an away match. We only have one home match this year in the pool stage against Belgium, which is in the second week of the 2026 Rugby Europe Championship. And the third one, which will be a very interesting rematch of what happened last year, but last year in the pool stage, the match was in Botoșani. This time it will be in Portugal. David, for three different opponents, 3 different styles of rugby, how much preparations are needed for these opponents? You said earlier that the 2027 Men's Rugby World Cup preparations, from your perspective, start this January. So my question is very, very simple. What are the main objectives, and what do us, the fans, look forward to see in the Oaks, at least for the beginning in this pool phase of the 2026 Rugby Europe Championship?
Well, first thing, we're going to do a 2 weeks camp in January. We're going to be very tough for the players. And after that, we'll play the rec, and we want to be competitive for many reasons. We want to be competitive. We need a good result for us, for our confidence. And of course, we start in Germany. We're going to be an away game, which is never easy to start a competition away. But after we go to face Belgium, we're going to be a big appointment for us. And of course, going to Portugal will be another one. Yes, it's going to be the right moment for me to start to judge the players and judge their involvement on games like this, you know. I want to see them performing. It's more to enough now to wait. And all our energy have to be for the national team and to the World Cup preparation. And like I said, we start in January, but I will want to see results during February and March.
From the performance perspective, what are your expectations for the 2026 Rugby Europe Championship? Last year you finished third. Do you see yourself playing this time the final or even winning?
Now, semi-final at the minimum. We want to be on the 4th first, and after we see what's happened, because you never know what's going to happen. But if people think we go to be ready straight away to face and win Georgia in Georgia, I don't think so. They need time to build. It's not just easy. But being competitive, we can be. And we have to be competitive. My problem will be the same, having the players. And after we'll see.
That's the biggest problem of national team.
Yes. Since I arrived in 2 years, I played 2 games without all my players. You imagine in 2 years, 2 games. Belgium in Belgium, Portugal in Portugal. That's it.
Which were, I think, this year, no?
Yeah. On a year before, minimum 10 players, 15 players less. This year, 25 players less last summer. This November, against Canada, it was not too bad, just 6 or 7 players. But after that, 5 injuries, plus a player who went back to France. It was 12 or 13 players less. Always the same issue.
And they start to retreat. A lot of them from national team don't want to play anymore. And we don't have a young player to replace them. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah. I don't know. It's sad for me to see Kojo and Kirika leaving. You know, it's very sad. 28 years old is not the age for stopping rugby. And if these 2 kids stop to play rugby, there is a lot of reason behind this. But before the people start to think about, we have no problem. I have no problem with Kirika and Kojo. We like each other. And you saw my respect for the people. Kirika was a line on the 3 games. Kojo, for his last game with us, I put him captain and starting on the pitch by respect for him and his career. Yeah, if they stop, it's not because of me or the relation with the staff.
Yes, we know exactly what was the problem there, unfortunately. But it was his choice, and we will respect that.
But it's sad, very sad.
Yes, it's very sad.
Some final questions for David before we are finishing this podcast?
I really don't have any question. He already responded to everything I had in my mind. He said everything perfectly and clear. We have a lot of work to do before World Cup, and not only World Cup.
Exactly.
We are really looking forward to have you again in the future alongside us. We had a very pleasant discussion this year.
Yes, it was a pleasure to have you here.
Tremendous and refreshing discussion. I admire your honesty, which is a key to resolve issues, not only in rugby but in life generally. It's not not a very good decision to hide behind the bushes like many people do. Your honesty is quite refreshing, and I am really looking forward, and I think Eddie as well, and all the rugby fans, to see Romania becoming, I wouldn't say a great force again, because we were not at the level of France, England, and the whole other 6 Nations teams, but a very good team who might win at some point the Rugby Europe Championship, because the last time we won, it was almost 10 years ago in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, which is quite a long time already, because Georgia has obliterated the competition in the last decade. And from my point of view, sadly, they will continue to do so. Hopefully, with the right attitude and the right environment, we will prevail and become once again the great force that we were, at least at this level of competition. So, David, thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
I'm really looking forward to meet you at the matches in February, and I wish you good luck. And obviously, as you have just had your birthday at the end of November, a happy belated
Thank
birthday.
you.
And may all that you want become a reality for the next couple of months.
Thank you very much.
Prieteni, asta a fost ultima emisiune pe anul acesta. Ne vom întoarce anul viitor să vedem și sub ce format tot alături de Edi. Astăzi l-am avut invitat special pe David Gerard, selecționerul Stejarilor. Un om, așa cum ați văzut în această oră și jumătate, foarte, foarte dedicat cauzei și ne-am dorit ca această discuție să ajungă la urechile cât mai multor oameni pentru a trage învățămintele necesare și pentru a aduce o atitudine sănătoasă și pentru a reîmprospăta, așa cum am spus și mai devreme, onestitatea în rândul nu doar a micii, dar pasionatei comunități de rugby, dar și în rândul comunității pe ansamblu, pentru că, așa cum am spus și mai devreme, e mai bine să lucrezi la o cauză nobilă, așa cum este rugby-ul, un sport al gentlemanilor jucat, un sport al golanilor jucat de gentlemen. Prieteni, ne vom revedea după anul nou. Eu am fost gazda dumneavoastră din această seară, Paul Athes. Alături de mine l-am avut pe Eduard Popiea și sigur pe David Gerard. Cele bune și sărbători fericite tuturor.
La revedere.
Oh.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Bye bye.